looking trim and proper. Yes. Turns out my top button broke sometime, I'm not sure when. Must have been jamming my head through when it was all buttoned up. You know how that is. Hey everybody, it's Kyle Abbott, Shamisen Live. Thursday, let's see, any new updates while we're waiting for people to join. I have a nice hot pot of coffee. This is with the beans from Chiang Mai, or Mae Kampong actually, an hour and a half north of Chiang Mai. It's quite delicious. For the coffee folks out there, my coffee sensei, James, recommended 30 grams of coffee for 450 grams of water. Hey, Carl. Oh my, that's nice. Very nice. Nice and strong and rich. The coffee should be. So, what's new? This morning, I got a letter from someone who is... You probably saw on the... Check out the Bachido forum. There's a message from a guy named Doug who needs a shamisen for a film in LA. Ooh, Hollywood. Hello, Hollywood. Not only that, it's a film that's directed by the same guy who did Batman versus Superman, though we won't hold that against him. Anywho, needed a shamisen for some part of the film, I guess. So I'm going to be sending one of my extras today. This is one a friend sent me through Yahoo Auctions. There's some real notable features of it. Yay, Ben! Glad you got here on time. Check out this. So this is a shamisen a friend sent me from Yahoo Auctions. It was skin ripped, it's all worn down and everything. I'm sure it's quite old. Most notable, take a look at the tenjin. This part here, I think it's a piece of copper. Yeah. It's just added right here. Oops. As you can see with this shamisen, or any shamisen. Excuse me. This middle part, the wood here, kind of lines up with these parts. So that's the only reason I can assume this piece was put in, so it somewhat visually lines up. Otherwise, I have no idea why that's there. But it's original and creative, so I love it. That's a really cool thing, personal cam. It's a really cool thing I love about seeing these older shamisen. I'm sure I would assume this is pre-war. Is that there's less of a kind of each one's kind of more personal, not like an assembly line sort of thing, where you have only one person doing it's possible that one person was only making tenjin this way and another person was only making do this way, but I have a feeling that the same craftsman probably made the whole thing. At least the tenjin and the sao. Maybe someone else made the do. But there's more personality. And of course, nothing does a shamisen like the Eclipse or any shamisen currently made in Japan. Of course, beautiful craftsmanship, masterful craftsmanship. But in a way, it's so precise. And of course, I strive for precision when making my own shamisen, so don't want to be a hypocrite, but it is kind of it's charming to have something so different, like the ebio. This kind of area is wider than most, or wider and shorter. Maybe it's the same width, but shorter, so short and stocky. This is an extra wide hakamagoshi, or such. Yeah, that's kind of cute. So I'll be sending this to them today. So whenever I find out what they're actually filming, I'll let everyone know, and we can all check it out. I should have stuck a Bachido sticker so we'll be able to see. Oops. Okay. Oh, hey Tom, glad you can make it. I saw your eraser and pencil, Koma, videos just a little while ago, so I figured, I hope that you'd be available for the live. Okay, so that story is done. Oh, goodness, it's good coffee. Coffee, it's just a magical drink. Those who are on the Facebook Bachido group, I've been seeing the teasers for the new Akatsuki Shamisen. Should I say? Do you think I should say? Do you think I should say? Okay. The release date is, this is exclusive inside information just for you watching. The release date is tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Everything will be revealed shortly. Okay, enough of that. Let's get playing. We're in the key of C. Before we play, actually, I wanted to show. Put a new button there. I gotta show something I was just working. I just came into my brain shortly before live. I might work it into a little drill that we can all play together, but I'll just show now. Something like that. We'll see where we can take it. We could even try learning that later today. Ni hao, Sam. We'll see where we can take that. Maybe later, after we finish our finishing drill, our Jonkara ending. Okay. So, key of C. Just a quick review of what we did last week. We did the basic form of let me do it again. Noting that whatever you do, you're having all the strokes, each one distinct and sharp, not just kind of brushing over some, but each one clear and sharp, not in the eye. Okay, next was now let's move on to the one I was planning to show last week. This is the final one, an original creation that I only used once because it's a little too out there. Quite long and intense, which kind of gives an abrupt feeling at the end of it. Maybe a little corny. But we'll give it a try because it's good. Technique, challenge, training, and such. So after we go. We're going to just slide up. Just whoop. And make that nice and clear. Don't be bashful. Like that. 0, 3, 4, slide. 0, 3. Last time. Then we're going to strike ichi no ito. Ichi no ito, hammer on, uchi, 3. And then as we hammer on, we're going to hammer on position 4 after that. Like that. While we hammer on 4, we're going to also strike position, the open ni no ito at the same time. Like that. It'll be kind of dissonant because, but that's what makes it cool. And then we're just going to do skui right after. Oops. Skui on the ni no ito. Then so everything we play on the ichi no ito, or every second note and possibly third note, is will be hammer on. So down, hammer on, hammer, down, skui, down, hammer, 0, skui, down, hammer, hammer, hammer. That probably makes sense. Go to Dokam. Oops. Here we go. Next. Next. 0. 0, 3, ni no ito 3. That'll be hammer on. And strike ni no 4. Ni no ito 4. Dokam. Yep. Sound good? Ready to move on to the next place? Let's see. Personal cam. Carl, I'm too tired to play today. Okay, excuses. Since I just got home, but following and we'll re-watch with the Shamisen. Okay, sounds good. Did you see the video? Oh yeah, I just saw your message. Oh, folks, if you want to hear, of course, music is a lot of music I listen to people don't tend to like anyway. But one of my favorite death metal bands, Soilwork, their main singer is doing the other group called, what is it called? Something Orchestra. Night Flight Orchestra, right. And the song Gemini, oh my goodness, it sounds perfect for shamisen. The way the melody is, and it fits in with the voice, and it definitely needs to be covered with shamisen. I'm planning to do so some point when I get some free time. Gemini by Night Flight Orchestra. Check that out. Sandpepper. Shamisen is just too loud to play at 9 p.m. Haha. Did you see Tom McMath's video on the Bachido forum? I mean, the Bachido Facebook page. He's trying out some different koma, and he just used an eraser, and it kind of mutes the sound a little bit. That could work. Oops, did the video freeze? Oops, no, it didn't. Okay. Let's see. I refuse to use my Shinobi Goma anymore. Ruins the whole experience. I can understand that. Carl also made a kind of a Shinobi Goma years ago with, I think it was the plastic Shinobi Goma, but then he also had was it like a mouse pad or several layers of paper or something together, and that provided a more satisfying experience while playing or something. That'd be something to check out. Let's see. Oh, Carl is having a bad case of stomach problems during his days away. I'm like, foobar. Okay, well, I'm not saying you have to eat your shamisen, but I'm just teasing. Playing shamisen with stomach problems is never fun. Why? Because you feel the vibrations go right into you. Okay, continuing on. Next. That's where we last ended. Now from here, we're going to do 4 and suberi to san no 3. Ooh, Tom, a Purple Heart Itomaki would look really cool. Definitely post some pictures. Then from here, we're going to do 4, 3, 4. 4 Ninoto, 3, 4. And just like this, index finger, ring finger. In that order. Like that. And then from here, squee up to 6. But I think we'll start. Yeah, we're going to start the squee on 4, but we're going to quickly slide. We're going to slide up. Yeah. Like that. Okay. Any questions, let me know. After the squee to 6, we're going to strike 4, slide back down to 4, and pull off to 3. just repeat that. 4 to 6, then 4 3. Tom, yeah, purple art is actually quite inexpensive. Yeah, that's the nice. I hope it's strong enough. It is technically a hardwood. Yeah, we'll see. I tried making itomaki out of East Indian rosewood, but that actually broke when I twisted it. Oh, jazz. No, this is... Ale makes a good point. It's just a regular. I think combined with this and the black shirt makes it a bit more blackish. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Continuing on. Okay. After do. It takes a sophisticated mind, Jazz. 3 hajiki, down, up. Then, ni no ito. 4 hajiki, down, up. 4 hajiki, 3, down. One more time. Let me know if you have any questions. Next. From here, ichi, no, 4. We're going ichi, then 3 on ni no ito. Suberi to 3. Hajiki pull off. Oh yes, Ben, that is definitely a joke. It's a very Carl Hedlund style joke. So. But in any case. Ichi no ito. 3, 0. And Carl Headland. Oh, third position Inyoto. Do you mean for this piece or for the Osanai Kaoru? Because I haven't finished that one yet. Is that what you mean? So now we can speed this up, of course. And we're doing a lot of repetition. Like this index ring, I mean this kind of motion back and forth like this. We're doing a lot of and it doesn't change as we go faster. We just have to keep relaxed and keep the timing, or the spacing. Yeah, the timing in between each note. So it takes time, but it's not difficult. Well, and Sam, oh, coffee. Oh, jazz, this is what makes it fun, having all the conversation going and giving it at the same time. I wish that, like I guess I said this in the last video, that I wish this live feed could be shown, after the video is posted and such, because I feel that those who are watching this later kind of miss out on some of the action. Sam Pepper, this is actually a really outlandish ending phrase. Love it. This is really outlandish. And it gets even more so. Let me show you my little extension for it. Because let's say you're at the Taikai, you're at the tournament, and your time limit is 3 minutes, and you are finishing at 2 minutes 56 or 7 seconds. And you really want to you want to beat the clock, but just right to the hair, as it were. This is what we can do. I'll do it fast. Then spinner. So we'll show how to do that extension right now. Okay, so we did. Oh, right, okay. From here, we're going to do just like before, but then we're just going to repeat that at least 4 times. 4 3 0 4 3 0 4 3 0. And we want this to be intense, not just brushing the ichi no ito, but we want to have a nice. And that takes focus on the thumb to really focus that energy down. Without a lot of strength, of course, because we want to have the least amount of power or strength as possible. 1 2 3 4. Okay, so 4 times. here, we're going to go right, 2, down, up, down, up, then that freight, that motion again. 4, 3, 0, up. Down, up, 4, 3, 0, up. Yeah. So from the beginning of the extension. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. 2, 3, 4. Then 4, each noto. Hajiki to 3. And then all 3 strings. The only problem with this over-the-top phrase is that it ends so abruptly. It's just thinking after a 3-4 minute Jonkara, then you join. Generally, after a 3, 4, or 5 minute Jonkara, you'll have there's kind of several, thinking of kind of like slowing down or kind of giving a gradual end to the song, as it were. Because it's a lot of energy in the kind of tournament Jonkara. So, it needs to kind of decelerate to have a comfortable ending. But, it's kind of, whoa, throws you off the horse a little bit. Maybe we can add a few strums to that. We'll see. Any questions? It's good stuff. Let's switch to do-cam and do it a couple more times. We'll do the whole thing. Cool thing about this drill to add some flavor is you can go from ushirobachi to maebachi to get different dynamics. So for example, let's watch how it changes. We can change that around too. Oh, I kind of like that actually. I like to have, or it's more contrast to have this part quiet. To have that final ending really boom, stand out and be punchy. questions about that? If so, I can focus on some points about the bachi technique in this, or left-hand technique, or I can move on to a different drill exercise or whatnot. Hey, okay, here's another cool thing. I'm not sure if I taught this in some previous video. I'm sure not the lives. But this is kind of a sweep-like thing. Oh, maybe I should save this. Nah, I might as well teach it now. Well, this is something you can sprinkle in somewhere, I'm sure. We're going to do position 10. If anyone remembers this from a previous video or something, let me know and I'll speed it up or stop it. Okay. So, position 10, ichi no ito. Then we hammer on to position 13. We kind of need to use our pinky. If you want to stretch, you can, but that can be a little difficult. As always, we want to keep our hand relaxed and loose as possible. 10, ni no ito. Then skui, position 13, ni no ito. I'm sorry. 10, 13, 10, ni no ito. Then 12. Then 13. Oops. To do this kind of thing, we have to keep our hand very relaxed and train ourselves to be able to put focused pressure on the tips of our fingers to get a clear tone without getting so stiff with tension. These should all still be relaxed no matter what we do. From here, we're going to bend our pinky to position 13, who'd have thought? If we can't clearly. Like that. Then 10. Questions? Oh no. Any questions? So this is something, I'm not sure when I thought of it recently, but well, late last year, I think. It's, these kind of phrases like this, or whatever kind of preset lick or phrase, you kind of think like, where am I going to use this? You know, I mean, tastefully. Where am I going to use it tastefully? And you find opportunities, like doing in my group class in San Jose, the Shamisen group class, we do Jonkara Bushi, which is this song. More or less. And after we sing a verse, chorus, each person takes a solo. So everyone else in the group will just keep the rhythm with. And the other person will go. Of course, not maybe that fluid, because they're mostly beginning. But so when I'm taking my solo, I end up here like. And I just realized when I get to 10 or 9, I'm pretty well set up to just toss it in and then move on. So let's do that again. Should really get a looper. That would be wonderful for this. Let's keep this in mind. Let's do it again. And that's so not Bushi. So just think, when I used to never be one for licks or preset kind of things. I'm still not really one for that kind of thing. I mean, I think just truly improvising, coming up with it on the spot is most fun. But something like this is kind of nice in its own way. And yeah, it is hard to think. I learn a short thing like this. Where am I going to use it? Though it's fun to practice on its own, really, where is it going to be used? But just kind of keep an open mind. It's like planting a flag. Maybe not quite like that. But just think of the song as you play the melody. You'll find these little kind of invisible sections where, you could just place it there. It's like a painting on the wall. You're looking at the wall of the song, and you see an open spot like this. Oh, this would be a nice spot right here. Or not. And you'll find out when you do it. Quick story. Before really getting into the shamisen thing, of course, I did bluegrass with my family, and there were weekly jams in Santa Cruz and San Jose and such. And we had a friend there a banjo player, and he has this one, he plays rather standard, banjo instrumentals, solos for songs. But he has this one, his go-to phrase that he did almost every song, or every 4 songs, or at least every jam, anytime, like guaranteed. And it's this kind of Bella Fleck inspired melodic banjo lick. It's crazy, and of course, the first time you hear it, or when he plays it with a group of new people, everyone like cheers, like, "Wow, that's so cool! That's so cool!" Because it is cool. But then when the same players see him, at different jams or different festival and camps, and he just pulls that out every time, it's cute. It's cute. But so that's that. That must have been like 10 years ago or so. Then I stopped going to bluegrass festivals and such, getting more into the shamisen thing. And so I hadn't seen him in a long time. But like last year, I saw him again at a local bluegrass thingy. And I heard him play. And then, boom, just kind of like on cue. Just that same lick that he always does. That's his legacy. So what's my point in that? Killing time with a story? No, it's licks. They can be cool. That's all I have to say. I don't know, that's all. What we did was a lot to work on. So I don't want to bring in any new material yet, because there's quite a bit. Let's just go over it a bit. Let's do the first finishing phrase. Some notes about that. Let's get into some fine details. If we want to get advanced about it, when we're doing this dun 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 on the, really have a mind to have your thumb up touching the string with the bachi to kind of mute it. That'll bring the dynamic contrast. You can just quickly shift back. Or if you want, you can do, then just play everything back here for those final strikes. It's purely up to you, depending on how much contrast and dynamics you want. Hey! For the next one, this is from last week. Oh, note when we're doing this up and down and up, really listen for that percussiveness in the upstroke. Kind of thwack. That kind of sound. For this kind of thing, I think we do want to have it all in ushirabachi. The difficulty of this is having enough power to strike all the way down to the skin. Maybe I'm getting to the point of forgetting how difficult that is. One of my students, I'm working on her bachitsuge. Not her bachitsuge, her tataki bachi. For She has a Tsugaru Shamisen and wanted to learn Rokudan and other Tsugaru songs. And for San no Ito and Ni no Ito, she has a pretty good Tatakibachi. But when it gets to the Ichi no Ito, it ends up. And it's a careful, let's go to personal cam, because this is a personal story. It gets into, it's a difficult thing to explain because when I say use more power, the result is I see this wider swing and I feel the tension, this tension of strike harder, which is what we want to avoid because that tension, that strength is what ends up breaking bachi and strings, I believe. And it's really not a getting this nice sharp percussive tataki bachi isn't a matter of striking harder. It's like the crack of the whip. Dokam. I think I explained this before, but in case we forgot. As we see the bachi raise, like to strike, we only go up a few centimeters, not up here. So notice the arm back here. This is pulling up. As well as that, the wrist is flowing too. It is this motion. So as it's as the arm pulls back, the wrist will move like this. And when the moment, so okay, bachi is down, it's somewhat angled down, somewhat. And then as it goes up, the bachi will become parallel, somewhat parallel, to the do, like so. Once it becomes parallel, that's the moment to just drop down. It depends, on who you talk to or see. Some people, the general principle is that the bachi doesn't turn, I guess, or doesn't move. It's just this down, up, down motion, like so. But that isn't 100% true. Because to get a sharp tone, you do need a whip-like motion. And I find the best position to be is when you move the arm up, and then the thumb, everything kind of turns, angles a little bit, and as you turn, the bachi becomes parallel, and that's the moment to engage the armpit, the shoulder, the bicep, kind of everything, and just lay it down. For those wondering, not that anyone's wondering, but the last song on Frosty, A Retrospective Christmas, 12 Days of Christmas, I play for every day, of every verse, like on the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Just before on the da, I go don, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 dons for each day, I guess. Like on the second day. third day. I'll do from the beginning. So 1, 2, 4. And I bridged it, so I think the next was 8 or 10. The hardest was, of course, 12. Of course, it took a lot of takes to get each one clear, mostly clear. But so that wasn't fake. That was all just da 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 tatakibachi. And to get that was this keeping the arm relaxed and using the shoulder, using the whole arm in this whipping kind of motion. Hey, we're at 3 minutes. Oh, I missed so much. Sam Pepper, how would it sound at the end of Rokudan? Oops. I had missed these messages. A transition so smooth, no one noticed it. Oh, what was this about? It's a little like hitting someone with a wet towel, I assume. Oh, yeah, with the whipping motion. Except you're accidentally aiming at your crotch instead. Not recommended in real life. We've all been there. Yeah. Basically like that. And it should have the same singing sort of sensation, but of course with shamisen, much more pleasurable unless you're into that kind of thing. All right. You know what I've been happening? You know what has been happening? We're all making mistakes, quote unquote mistakes, or having problems. And one of my recent problem is missing strings. I notice, I sometimes shift around the positions, like ni no ito might be closer to ichi no ito one day or closer to san no ito, so I'm a little lazy to get it perfect. But so when you're hearing me restart a technique or a phrase, I'm like perhaps going, my ring finger is going just in between. Maybe that's a sign that Chuzao is actually the best. Okay, I'm just looking for things to talk about. Oh, this is the end, my friends. It is 2 p.m. I have to send this Shim Sham to Hollywood. Then go do some shopping. Oh, Anthony, just missed it. The whole thing entirely, except my farewells. News: Saturday, playing at Cupertino Cherry Blossom. If anyone's in Cupertino, come by, say hi. Tuesday we'll be back. What are we gonna learn? I'll find something for us to do. Hopefully next Thursday, next week, I will have the Osanai Kaoru Jonkara riff figured out and can share that. Carl Hedlund's request. And if anyone has any requests for things to learn, please let me know. I'm always looking for material to share. or to teach. And of course, we'll be going into more songs and such from Stellar and Resonance, Monsters of Shamisen, to teach. Okay, have a good day and night, everybody. See you all next time. Hey, I got a Patreon thing down below. Check that out. Have a good day. Abbott. Okay, let's turn this stuff off. How do we turn this off? Oh, there's the button. Here we go.